Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So over the last couple months, we have been hearing talks about stablecoins heating up in a big way, and this is only going to continue. Now, I've always said stablecoins are tokenized dollars on chain. It's not just about the dollar though, right? We have euro stablecoins on chain now. This is only going to continue to bring on more and more fiat currencies on chain. We will eventually have tokenized pounds, Australia already has their Australian digital dollar on chain, tokenized yen. It's just going to continue. But the thing that I'm really looking at is the more volume and the more value tied back to stablecoins basically means the more fiat currency that we have on chain. Now, I saw a great post from the CIO of Bitwise where he did say that I can't stop thinking about this quote from the US Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent. We are going to keep the US the dominant reserve currency in the world, and we will use the stablecoins to do that. However big you think stablecoin assets under management will get, you're probably thinking too small. So the question becomes, what does the rest of the crypto market look like if stablecoin assets under management is multiple trillions? And yeah, when we think about what's happening here, stablecoins are opening up the floodgates because the more money tied back to stablecoins equals the more money tied back to tokenization, tied back to this market. We are going to see trillions and trillions of dollars flooding this market. What we are witnessing right now around the space is absolutely nothing. And you know what's crazy about all of this is that Ripple predicted this many years ago, back in 2022. Where they put out a post saying the global stablecoin race is on. And even then, stablecoins were still doing $1 trillion a month in trading volume. Now, they did say that the XRP ledger is the best ledger to tap into for stablecoin initiatives and use cases. Now, today we do know that RLUSD is sitting at about roughly 177 million, which is pretty significant, but nothing too crazy when we actually think about the stablecoin market. A lot of these stablecoins now have billions of dollars tied to them. Just the first 5 alone have billions of dollars tied to them. PayPal, 790, almost 791 million. But RLUSD is definitely climbing the ranks. I wouldn't be surprised by the end of this year if RLUSD was in the top 5. But it's only going to continue. I mean, stablecoins themselves have about $235 billion tied to them. I wouldn't be surprised if that was double again by the end of this year. And it's because of how big stablecoins are becoming inside and even outside of crypto. I mean, people are utilizing stablecoins for many use cases, including sending and receiving money for goods and services as well. And these types of use cases scale infinitely. But on top of this, right, Bloomberg Crypto recently put out a great post where we had Circle's head of global policy discussing World Liberty Financial's plan to launch a stablecoin. Because if you guys didn't know, yes, Trump is launching a stablecoin. We have the announcement over here from the Coinbase letter. I'm going to get to that here in a second after this video. But basically, the overall idea here is the growing bipartisan support for stablecoin legislation. Check it out.
World Liberty Financial is getting into stablecoins with the plan to launch 100% backed by short-term treasuries, dollar deposits, and other cash equivalents. What do you think about this project? Certainly appears to be a competitor to USDC.
Well, I think one of the interesting dimensions, of course, of impending legal and regulatory clarity is that this market would enjoy a lot of competition. At some point in time, obviously, our business model at Circle, in some respects, has defined the basis of what is the legal standard emerging here in the United States and certainly the regulatory standard around the world. But the movement of money and the movement of dollars is trillions of dollars of economic activity. Mm-hmm. It's one of these domains that would welcome competition. And I think it should be very broadly encouraging that World Liberty Financial joins our ranks and other companies would also participate broadly in this market.
But I would think there's competition and there's other companies, and then there's competition by companies that are closely associated with the President of the United States. And that could be a little different. Is it different?
Well, look, digital dollars in the broadest sense should enjoy and be digital representations of the full faith and credit of not only the U.S. economy, but trust in the banking infrastructure underpinning this market segment. And for the better part of the last many years, crypto policy in the United States has been defined by a policy of gradualism. And so one of the benefits that this White House has brought to bear not only with naming crypto czars, but also in sort of mobilizing Congress and the Senate, is a world in which we have legal and regulatory clarity upon us. The Genius Act and the markup of the Genius Act enjoyed bipartisan support. Members of the Senator Mark Warner, as just one among many, switched sides and voted in favor of this markup. And I think the markup that we'll all watch next week on April 2nd will also, I think, continue to show Democratic support growing for a principled set of regulations here.
So yeah, I mean, listen, as we really think about what's happening here, if the president of the United States is launching his own stablecoin, we're probably going to see an accelerated push on legislation around stablecoins. I think that that's exactly what's happening here. And to really kind of fast track this, it would be something that, would really kind of start to get those conversations going. And why is this? Well, number one, let's actually go over the announcement, because here we have the full-on announcement of USD1, which is the stablecoin that World Liberty Financial did announce. It is 100% backed by short-term US government treasuries, US dollar deposits, and other cash equivalents. Now, it is going to be launched on both Ethereum and the Binance Smart Chain blockchains, and it is going to be just like any other stablecoin, backed by specific things with the US dollar, and it's going to be a value of $1. But again, I want to bring up the fact that this is happening because we're trying to accelerate stablecoin initiatives. And the reason why is because there is a strategy behind this, which we'll get to here in a second. But I also have to bring up the fact that Fidelity is also launching a crypto stablecoin, and this is a $16 trillion asset management company. So when we go back to Ripple saying that the global stablecoin race is on, I do think that they were a little bit early on this, but they were ahead of the game. But if we think about the strategy here, there was a great post made by the founder and CEO of Bitward Invest, and we have here Trump's crypto strategy is not about Bitcoin. It's about the dollar. His play using stablecoins to sustain US debt demand and keep the US dollar dominant globally. Tether's role, almost replacing China as a major US debt holder. Genius Act lays the groundwork for stablecoin regulation, a win-win for Trump and crypto, reduces reliance on foreign debt buyers, strengthens US dollars global reserve status, and then hedging inflation via Bitcoin-driven Wall Street ETFs, sparks FOMO buying from governments as well. This isn't just about crypto, it's about US financial dominance. And that's exactly why I think that this stablecoin initiative just came out of nowhere, right? All right, World Liberty Financial is announcing a stablecoin launch. Why is this? Well, now we know why. This is to accelerate legislation. Once you have legislation in place that is supporting stablecoin growth and initiatives, all of a sudden you start to see US dollar stablecoins going crazy. You start to see a lot more launches, you start to see a lot more growth, which in turn supports the US dollar. But on top of this, the growth is significant. I mean, in the last 24 hours alone, big shout out to DeFi Edward for this, stablecoins quietly added $1 billion in 24 hours, $4 billion in a single week, and $7 billion this month alone. This isn't just crypto liquidity, it's the dollar going on chain. From emerging markets to Visa integration, stablecoins are fueling the next era of US dollar dominance, and it's happening fast. Yeah, I mean, listen, if we think about what's been happening around the market cap of stablecoins, guys, I have witnessed this go crazy over just the last month alone. This is something that you shouldn't be avoiding at all. And in fact, you should be paying attention, because if you, for an example, are an XRP holder, the best way to get behind stablecoin growth and adoption is by investing into the underlying networks that a lot of these stablecoins are growing on. In this case, you could look at the XRP ledger, you could look at Ethereum, you could even look at BNB. But this is not slowing down at all. And in fact, it's only going to accelerate. Even over here we have, this is only the beginning. In a couple of months, we will have stablecoin legislation, then the stablecoin arms race will be in full force. That's why we are starting to see the acceleration on stablecoin legislation in the US. And of course, even Ripple is very vocal about stablecoins. Back in the beginning of March, they did put out a great post saying stablecoins are on the rise with over $220 billion in value circulating. What's needed to unlock mass adoption? And by the way, yeah, back in the beginning of March, it was $220 billion. We are now at $235 billion in terms of stablecoin token market cap, which is insane. But What's needed to unlock mass adoption? Number one, global regulatory alignment, which is happening and it's accelerating. Number two, reliable reserves and risk controls. RLUSD is right there with full-on transparency, compliance, and regulation. Compliance-driven approach, again, like I said, compliant first. Enterprise-grade custody and seamless customer experience. That's why when we think about what Ripple was planning, 3 years ago, back in 2022, it's very interesting to see what's happening now. It's almost as if everything that Ripple does, they do it initially and then everything else aligns perfectly. We've seen this many times over. Institutional DeFi, for an example, Ripple was focused on institutional DeFi before it was even a big, deal, before it was a huge narrative. Tokenization as well. Stablecoins are going to fuel so much growth around the space, and it's going to bring trillions of dollars on chain. And by the way, we have to focus on what additional stablecoin issuers like Circle are doing, because recently Circle did announce that they are going to be expanding in Japan. Circle Japan KK, our local entity to build presence and drive digital finance innovation in the market. With SBI VC Official launching USDC tomorrow and top exchanges on board to list soon, Japan's stablecoin market is set for growth, a major step forward for digital finance and real-world stablecoin utility in the country. Now, again, if you know SBI, then you know that SBI is extremely bullish on Ripple. In fact, they already have a joint partnership, SBI Ripple Asia, for an example. And this is actually to accelerate DLT growth within Japan, faster, safer, next generation decision-making infrastructure using DLT. But also we saw back in 2023, SBI subsidiary expands XRP remittance use in Southeast Asia. This was using XRP as a bridge currency, and this is with SBI Remit. On top of that, back in 2024, Ripple breaks ground in Japan, SBI Group, to use XRP Ledger for supply chain solutions using Hashkey DX. So when we think about XRP and we think about SBI, obviously there's a huge relationship there, but it's also just based around Ripple. So if we're thinking about Circle expanding in Japan with USDC, I wouldn't be surprised to see an announcement coming from Ripple very soon with SBI to also provide RLUSD exposure. I think that that's pretty much dead set on with what we have been witnessing over the last couple weeks anyways. When we start to see some pretty big moves happening around stablecoins, we know that Ripple has been included. So I wouldn't be surprised if SBI did announce that as well with RLUSD. But the number one thing to really kind of focus on here is that the entire stablecoin market is igniting in a huge way. And this will bring trillions of dollars on chain. I think that it's going to bring trillions of dollars to a lot of these popular networks like Ethereum, XRP Ledger, and so many other ones. I've always stated that, if we're starting to see this amount of growth happening now, just imagine what this market's going to look like in a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years. Like, we're starting to see billions and billions of dollars, which if we go back a few years ago, they would have been headline articles. They would have been pumping the prices of some of these projects. Nowadays, these are just normal announcements. Just wait until we start to see trillions of dollars. This space is going to be valued in the tens of trillions of dollars. Some of these networks like XRP are going to be worth trillions of dollars as well. I think now is the best time to focus up and pay attention to what's happening, because legislation's heating up, adoption's heating up, acceptance is heating up, and we're just waiting for the growth. The growth is going to be there. And I'm very excited to be a part of this, because now we're starting to see everything that we've been talking about for years being realized in. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.